Hello, everybody. Welcome back to class. For this week, we're discussing one of the topics called product metrics. Product metrics. Now, what are product metrics? Product metrics are indicators that show how users interact with a product. They show how users use your product. Do they spend much time on your product? Do they just go to your product to do one or two things that come out? Do they spend a lot of time on the product? Your metrics are there to show you. They are quantifiable data points that a business tracks and analyzes to gauge the success of its product. Some examples of product metrics, we have conversion rate. We want to see how much your product was able to convert. Converting means um, getting money, like how much sales were you able to make, how much money were you able to bring from it. You understand? We also have your churn rate, we have your monthly recurring revenue. There are many of them that we'll see in the course of today's class. Now, why do products or why are product metrics very important? Why do they matter? Number one, it matters because they lead to better product decisions. When you see what your users are doing with your product, you can know probably you have to double down on something, on a feature, or when you see that a lot of people are using this feature, right? You might want to say, okay, this feature is looking like it's more profitable or is more endearing to your users, right? You want to work more on that feature so that they'll keep on coming, right? But if you don't have these metrics, how do you know what your users are doing on your how do you quantify it? How are you able to say, okay, yes, this is what they are doing, right? We also call these metrics KPIs. You might have come across this terminology in several aspects of life. KPIs, key performance indicators. They give the company quantifiable evidence about which aspect of the product or customer experience resonates with customers and which do not. Product metrics make it easier to earn executive approval. You're speaking with facts now. Yes, this is what our users are. This is what they like. This is what they are doing. They spend as much as 1 hour on our product, right? So these are the KPIs. Now let's move on to stakeholder management. Now, note that as for the KPIs, you can as well, there are many of them. So the one that is actually useful to you at the time, what matters to you, are you, is it the sales that matters to you? Do you have that for the sales? Is it the engagement? How long do they stay, right, on your product? Whatever it is that matters to you as at that time in the stage of your product development, you can look for a relevant KPI to measure it. Now, stakeholder management. We've heard a lot about stakeholders, and some people may still be very confused that who are the stakeholders and how do we manage them? Now, who are the stakeholders? Just like it says, stakeholders. Anybody who has who has a stake in your product are the stakeholders. Those who are affected by it, or those who shows an interest in the offerings, they are all your stakeholders. And there's a quote here, it says what lead the stakeholders, don't please and don't dictate. Very careful not to want to please them, right? And very careful not to dictate, but you are to what? Lead them. And how do you manage, before we move on, how do you manage your stakeholders, right? Just like what we have written here, don't dictate, right? Effective stakeholder management starts by embracing the right attitude. You have to have the right attitude. You see the stakeholders as equal, right? Your stakeholders, like those that have stake. In fact, your users are also part of the stakeholders, right? the your company's board of directors as well can also be part of the stakeholders in this context. Now, you have to see the stakeholders as equal partners. Take an interest in their perspective. Don't just brush their perspective aside. Their ideas, don't brush it aside. Their concerns, don't just brush, but take a very keen interest. Let them say that yes, you are interested in what they are saying, right? Then all what is concerning them, all their underlying needs, try and understand them. Remember that empathy is a very, very important skill in product management. Build trustful connections with individuals and encourage the stakeholders to work together. But do not accept inappropriate behavior and do not allow people to treat you like a project manager. You're not a project manager, or they should treat you like a team lead. You're more than that, or a personal assistant. You are the product manager. So don't be treated anything less than that, right? So, like I said, a stakeholder is anyone who has a stake in your product, who is affected by it, or who shows what, or who shows an interest in the offering. And let's move straight to the product launch, growth, and marketing. Now, the launch and growth phases of product management lifecycle are very crucial for the success of a product. It's not just about you have created this beautiful product that you feel, oh, your users are going to love them, love the product rather. It's not just about building the alone. How do you launch it? We have a lot of people that a lot of products that are very good, but people don't even know about them, even till now. So um how do you make users, people that actually need your product, how do you make them see it? How do you just launch anyhow, right? So these phases are very, very important. This is where your product starts to make its mark in the market. And what are the reasons these phases are important? Number one, market entry. Launching your product is a moment when your vision becomes a reality that customers can interact with. How do you enter the market, right? You're not making the product for yourself, you're making it for these users, you're making it for the market. So, how do you enter the market? It's very important. Now, validation, which is the growth phase, that is where you see if your product really resonates with your target audience. For example, your product has already entered the market, right? So how are they using the product? Is it what you had in your mind that when the product entered they will grab it with their full chest? Is that what is happening at the moment? Right? So you have to know so that you can know where to focus your energy. Because of course, like I said, the difference between a product and a project is that management in managing a product or a project it finishes. Product does not finish except the product dies. You cannot say, okay, I finished building the product, I'm done with my work. No, you are seeing the product through, except the product dies, right? Except that product is no more in existence. But if your product is still in existence, then you are as product manager, you are with it, right? Then and let's go to the launch phase. Now, this is the culmination of all your hard work in the design and the development phase. It is where you introduce your product to the world. It includes number one, the market entry strategy. What is the strategy that you have towards entering the market? It also includes what marketing and promotion. How do you promote this your product? How do you market your product? How do you help? Number three, how do you onboard your users and support them? Number four, is there a place where they can drop feedback? How do you react to feedback? How do you get feedback, right? Then you also have your monitoring and analytics. You have to monitor the product because this period you cannot just go and sit down. Yes, you have to monitor how people are using this product. How do they accept the product? The analytics are very, very important. And remember our iterative improvement. You have to keep on going back in case you have any um, feedback that suggests that you have to work on an aspect of your product, right? So you have to keep on going back and forth. And let's come to the growth phase. Growth phase, this is where you start to see significant traction and expansion. It's an exciting phase that also that but sorry, but also one that requires careful management, right? You're already growing here, you have already launched into the market, people are already using it, but definitely you need to keep on growing. When you are launching, it's not as if you already have everything on board. So you are still improving, you're still growing and all. So what are things that you need to consider in this growth phase? Number one, you're scaling infrastructure. You have to scale infrastructure, keep on getting better. User acquisition, look at how users are acquiring your products. Retention and engagement. How many people acquired it and how many people are still using it? And not just using it actively, right? In your monetization strategies, your competitive analysis, keep on looking at them. What are they doing better than you? How can you make your own? How can you, in fact, grab all their customers? Yeah. How can you grab their customers? How can you make their customers want to use your own products over the ones they've been using before? Then you also have your data-driven decision making. You have to make decision making, but based on data. Don't just make on your intuitions only. You have to look at the data, your KPIs, your metrics, whatever it is, whatever data it is that you have. You have to use them to make your decisions. Then your customer support, scaling teams, feedback loop. Don't forget your feedback is very, very important. Very, very important. Don't forget that. Now, let's talk about the go-to-market strategy. Go-to-market strategy. It outlines how you plan to launch new experiences to customers, including how you will communicate the value of what is being released, right? It is how you plan to launch. How do you want to launch new experiences to customers, right? The go-to-market strategy. How do you want to launch this your product or probably a feature or features? How do you want to launch it to the market? How do you want to communicate that this feature is going to help you or this product is going to do this, is going to do that? So it increases your overview, your goals. Like you can also have you're going to have a document for this because you have to actually strategize. Like I said, all these successful products they don't just happen by accident. It requires a lot of work. Yes, it requires a lot of work. So you have a strategy of how you want to go about it. You have the overview of the product, the goals, the initiative, the customer personas, the positioning and messaging, right? Pricing. Then how do you want the channels for distribution, like your blogs, your emails, social media, all these articles, how to do this, how to do that one, right? In-app notifications and press release. With this, we have come to the end of this product management class. Here is your ticket out. Who are the stakeholders? List 5 relevant KPIs. So this is actually a ticket out. Go and research more on this and submit um, before the end of the week. Happy graduation in advance.